Merhaba, hoş geldiniz. So, that's the only thing I will speak today in Turkish. I apologize that I can't speak more, I'm just learning Turkish. If I would give to speak in Turkish, it would probably last 3-4 hours, and I'm not sure whether you will understand everything. So, before I talk about an interesting topic, purposeful leadership, let me short introduce myself. I'm German. I was sitting there where you are sitting 34 years ago. So 34 years ago I left university having studied marketing and management. But perhaps for you important, you know, I didn't want to become a student. My desire was to become an airline pilot. So when I would turn 15, I learned flying, but then when I did the test, I had glasses, and with glasses at that time you can't become an airline pilot. So I said, what do? I study economics. So I still today have my license since 44 years. I'm flying as often as I can. That is not so often, but I enjoy this hobby, looking sometimes from the air down to the earth and get a little bit distance. I started as a management trainee 34 years ago. I went through different functions, primarily marketing and sales. And over the last 34 years, also in general management, I worked in Germany, I worked 4 years in Saudi Arabia, I worked 2 years in France and Paris. And the last function were for 3 years CEO of Nestle Adriatic, which is the former ex-Yugoslavia. Then I moved to Ukraine, to Kiev. I was 4 years CEO and chairman of Nestle in Ukraine. And I'm absolutely privileged because since 1st of March I'm here in Turkey, in Istanbul. I enjoy being here, and I'm the CEO and chairman of Nestle Turkey. So, purposeful leadership. You probably ask yourself, what is this about? And I hope during the next 15 minutes I can explain a little bit another dimension of leadership that exists. So, but let's start with our history. And Nestle, and I don't know whether you know, Nestle is a Swiss company. Nestle's story began 152 years ago. We are 152 years old. And it started with Henri Nestle, who was a pharmacist. And he discovered and saw at his friends that a baby was going to die because his baby couldn't be breastfeeded. So he was so passionate as a pharmacist about it that he developed a milk-based baby formula, a powder or milk-based where you just add water, which the mother could give to the baby to feed it, which was not having the challenges of breast milk, and this baby survived. That was the foundation of Nestle. Because the success was there and the company grew and grew and grew over the last 150 years, 2 years. And today we are the biggest food and beverage company worldwide. We have more than 320,000 employees in over 189 countries. We have more than 400 factories in 85 countries, more than 2,000 brands, and even more, every day we sell 1 billion Nestle products. Every day consumers at the shelf have to decide, do I buy Nestle or do I buy something else? And today, or last year or this year, we'll do 91 billion Swiss franc turnover, which is probably close the same to $91 billion. As we have a widespread globally, we have a lot of global brands that are existing all over the world, and some of them you probably know from Turkey. And we have many brands, per brand, that do a turnover than more than 1 billion Swiss franc every year. And brands like Nespresso, Nesquik, Kit Kat, Nestea in water, San Pellegrino, and Vittel are part of our global brand portfolio. But let's talk about Turkey, and even in Turkey, Nestle has 113 years of heritage. We were starting our office here in 1909 with the first sales office starting to sell products in Turkey. And even perhaps you know the brand in 1927, we opened up the first chocolate factory in Turkey. And as you can imagine, this opening and the brand name today is 1927. But also we have other brands that are 80 years old, Damak chocolate, and a lot of other products like Chocella. So we have a long, long history short time after we were launched or we were founded in Switzerland, we already came to Turkey, and Turkey was one of the first, probably the first market Nestle expanded at building a factory. And today in Turkey we are one of the leading food and beverage companies. We have 4 factories in Bursa, 2 water factories, and cereal and coffee and chocolate factories. We have 3,000 employees, and if we look those who are connected to us, we have more 7,000 people that are working for Nestle. 800 products, 50 brands in 11 categories, and very important for us, it's the Nestle principle. 92% of our raw materials we produce in our factories are sourced locally, sourced in Turkey. And our turnover for this year hopefully will be around 3.4 billion Turkish lira. And we are in one of the top 5 fastest growing companies in the food and beverage market in Turkey. One point in the future when you work, and that accompanied me over the last 34 years, is the capability to adapt to change. And change is getting faster. And there's one phrase from Darwin, which I always tell my team, and I'm absolutely convinced that it's very, very important in my career and probably in your career. And this is Darwin's statement that says, these are not the biggest or the most intelligent that survive. These are those who are fast adaptable to change. Many companies disappeared, big companies, because they were not capable to adapt to change. And change and the influence of change is also important for us. If you look over the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years about the generation, the baby boomers, I'm part of the baby boomers, where expertise was very important. Generation X, cases mattered for them. Generation Y, where digitalization, network, Facebook and all this started, where peers were very important. But today we have the Generation Z. And the Generation Z is described by purpose, to dig deeper, to understand what is behind. What are the things that matter for this generation? Ethical, other things that play a major role today if you want to work, if you want to be successful with this generation. And we, over many, many years, needed to adapt to understand what are the core influence, what is part and core of the beliefs, of the habits, of what consumers, and we say 1 billion consuming products every day, what consumers, and especially the young generation, is about. So that means that the decision tree of consumers, your decision tree, going to a shelf, deciding on a product, we needed to add something in our offer to you which is addressing what matters for you, what matters for the generation. The product benefit is clear. What is the benefit of the product? Very, very important. For which price is it sold? Do I want to pay this price? Do I feel it's worth? What is the brand name? Does the brand and the name give me something? What is my need? So, is the product delivering why I buy this product? And very, very important for every consumer, quality. Nobody wants to buy that quality. But that has come as an addition. It's a generation that now is the purpose. So it's not enough anymore in the decision tree to have a brand name, the price, the quality, the need. We need to be able to add something to the product, to add something to the brand, because more and more consumers want to know the purpose, want to know more about the brand. And I have an example here, and maybe it's not from us, our company, you discover which brand it is. And it shows basically over the last 50, 60 years how the brand action has changed. In the 1950s, the brand essence, our brand gives the cleanest wash. In 1980, brand positioning, our brand is for thoughtful months. In the year 2000, brand belief, our belief is dirt is good. And then finally, and there you see already the change, 2020 onwards, brand action, our action is help kids play. Do you know which brand it is? Sorry? Say it loud. Omo, yes, you are washing at home. I'm quite sure you know how to do it. Good, it is Omo. And it shows over the years how a brand in its core and its delivery to the consumers has changed. Why is it so important for us in Turkey? In Turkey, we have 20 million youth. More than 50% of the population in Turkey are below 35 years. And these are employees at work, but these are also consumers, and that, like you, are the future leaders. So any company that is in fast-moving consumer goods, that is where we are in, that wants to be successful, has to make sure that the brand or the offer we give to consumers, fulfilling their need, also needs to focus and tell the consumers what is the purpose of this brand, what is behind the brand, what is behind the company that is producing and selling this brand. And let me explain to you about purposeful leadership. You probably all know leadership has always been individual leadership, which are also in our company very, very important. We have competencies on leaders they have to deliver, and we need to look on to be a Nestle leader. And individual leadership is about trust to your colleagues, to your boss, to your company, motivation, initiative, and development. But also addressing consumer needs that have changed. Corporate leadership, the company leadership plays an important role. The purpose of our company, the purpose of our brand, CSV, creating shared value. Let's be clear, we are a public company, we have shareholders, and the first priority for us is those who own our company to deliver on their expectations, creating shareholder value. But similar, no company can survive another 150 years in today's world if we are not able, beside shareholder value, creating shared value. And I will talk about it. And creating shared value also leads to the point contributing to the society. I mentioned several times the word purpose, and that was the word that is a symbol for new expectations and demands of consumers in the younger generation today. And we also had to ask ourselves, Nestle, even being 150 years old, what is our purpose? Why do we exist? What are we giving to the world to make a future? What is so important for us, what we bring to everyone to exist another 150 years? And we decided on a purpose, and you will understand, if you look where Henri Nestle started more than 150 years ago, what is the core, what is the genetic code of us which we want to deliver on? And our purpose is to enhance the quality of life and contribute to a healthier future. Quality of life to make the quality of the people that consume our products better. Not only that consume our products, but also to help, and that is what even more, the discussion on climate and everything is important for the future, to contribute to a healthier future. This all has to be delivered with making clear what is our value, what is the value of the company, and what value do we, the 320,000 people working worldwide for Nestle, what is our value on which we want to behave and develop on this. And our value is very simple: respect. We decided that everything we do, delivering on our purpose, has to be done with respect. Respect to ourselves, respect to others, respect to the future, and respect to the environment. Very simple, very clear. And every action we do, we have to think, is it delivering on our purpose? And do we do it in the way we want to do it, in respect? And just to show you the 3 building blocks on which we want to realize our purpose, side on the brand. We want to create a healthier future for individuals and families. And one of the examples I will talk about, help 50 million children to lead a healthier life. For our communities, we are living, we have our head office, we are producing in. To improve 30 million livelihoods in communities connected to our business, and for the planet to strive for zero environmental impact in our operations, that means in our factories. Let me start with, for individuals and families, and give me one example of the many we do. And this example is about healthy steps. You know that obesity for children is one of the biggest challenges of countries in the future. The cost and the impact of societies, of people with overweight, is tremendous. And having obesity from a health factor, as you can imagine, is not living a healthy life, having difficulty. So, and we know that food intake, our products, have also a part of it. So we decided, not being alone, what can we do in the early stage where we impact the future generation to make sure that we have a healthier life. And this is healthy steps. We are doing this worldwide for many, many years. We do it in Turkey, in 17 cities, 86 schools. We reach 86,000 children and 172,000 parents. What it is about, it is going to the school, giving the teacher materials to teach the children about healthy food, about movement, about physical activity. Because if we can create awareness with the young generations, the probability that obesity is not a big problem in the future is clear. So we do it. It's not a promotion. We do it giving the teachers material. It's not branded. It's healthy steps. And with the teachers, with the parents, we work on this to make sure that children also in Turkey, the young generation, will not have the issue with obesity and learn how to take food, cook, and have a healthy intake. Do you know what this is? Do you have a clue? Yes. Ah, sure. It's damak. It's a pistachio. And damak, being 80 years old, being the most fascinating chocolate with pistachio, it's my brand since I came here. I can't stop eating. We are exporting it to 12 countries and we are growing. But damak is 100% linked to pistachio. There will be no damak product ever without pistachio. And the success of this product, the history of this product in Turkey, tells about the success of this product. However, we faced some years ago a challenge. If we look on these two graphs, you will see that from the land size, 35% of pistachio production worldwide is in Turkey. But if you look on the volume, the output of it, Turkey only has 12%. And countries like the United States, who only allocate 9% of their land to the pistachio production, have 21%, and even Iran have more. So the question for us was, what can we do, having pistachio in our brands, in our product, to be more successful and to help farmers? And we developed a program together with Tema Foundation to help pistachio farmers to increase their production, to increase their efficiency, to produce in a way that is natural. And you can see here with the welfare for 210,000 farmers, we helped them to increase 113% yield, so we doubled their efficiency in the way we supported them day by day with training, with support, with education. If you go on, and these were two examples, there are other purposeful brands that deliver on top of their core benefit a purpose. We have ProPlan. ProPlan is our pet food product. And we are together with an association that is training dogs to help 750 blind people in Turkey to get a blind dog guidance, that these people can leave their home and are guided by dogs that are specially educated and trained for them. We are supporting them in many ways for the education of these dogs. Or if you need Nestle, our CEO, 6 years we are working together with Memabel, that is a breast health society, to create awareness for the problems for women of breast cancer, to help them to identify it perhaps by themselves and go to doctors, and more than 15,000 women did it. And last but not least, if you look on CPW serial partners in general, we're working together with the WWF. We donate money, and we were able with this donation to save 20,000 baby turtles in Turkey. In addition, plastic, the future pollution, plastic commitment and actions. Nestle has committed in 2025 all our products will be either reusable or recyclable. This is in 6 years. And today we have packaging where we don't know how to do it. But we are committed to work on it, and we are committed to do it also here in Turkey, to see with the government on regulation, with stakeholder management. SUDA, that is the Water Business Association, where our colleague is the president of this association. We are developing new packaging, different packaging. We are working together with CHEFCO to see what could be recycling systems. Because having a product, a packaging that is recyclable, and that is not enough. We need systems that can do the recycling. We decided in all our factories, offices to not have any more plastics, single-use plastic. We completely banned it. And our employees are engaged. We do plugging. We go out during a workday with employees in the factory everywhere, to the beach, to the environment, and we collect waste. And we reduced water consumption by 26,000 liters. So this has been some example to show what today, to be leader and to go on leading in the market, what you have to add in the way you produce product, or what further sense is in product. And we put it together in a small video we would like to show you, which is talk, what are we after, what are we going for?
Neyin peşindeyiz? Aslında hepimiz hayatımıza anlam katacak bir şeylerin peşindeyiz. Kimileri iyi deneyimlerin, kimileri iyi işlerin, kimileri de iyi ilişkilerin peşinde. Biz Nestle olarak çocuklarımızın geleceğine katkıda bulunmak için onlara dengeli beslenme ve sağlıklı su tüketiminin önemini anlatmanın peşindeyiz mesela. Çiftçilerimizin hasadına ve hayatına bolluk sağlamanın peşindeyiz. Gelecek nesiller de tarım mirasımız fıstığı aynı lezzette tadabilsinler diye. Biz içtiğimiz sıcacık bir kahvenin keyfini yıllarca sürebilmek için 50 sene sonra da aynı berekette yetişmesinin derdindeyiz. Hayatımızı zenginleştiren hayvan dostlarımızın bir gün değil, her gün yiyecek ve barınak bulabilmesinin peşindeyiz. İlk bebek mamasını bularak bir bebeğin hayatını kurtardığımız günden beri hep bir şeylerin peşindeyiz. Yani hep bir iyilik peşindeyiz. Siz de bizimle aynı şeylerin peşindeyseniz, hadi düşün peşimize.
Before I come to the end of my presentation, let me say one thing. This is not only for consumers. We have more and more, also including me, one of the oldest people in our organization, who want to work in a company that is also adding value to the society. Not only adding value to shareholders, but also making sure that I'm proud, we are proud, the younger generation is proud to work in Nestle, to be satisfied what we do, and also fulfill for the future, not only delivering the shareholder value, but also being proud and being part and engaging shared value for the families, for the communities, and for the society. When we were going through this presentation, I was told often, the presenters are asked, what are the 4 things that helped in my career? And that is personal, that may not be right for you, but that was what I believe today brought me to a job I never dreamed of when I started 34 years ago. The first thing I always followed, what was important for me, be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone you are not. Be yourself. If you have an interview for a job, answer what you think, be yourself. Because if you are chosen then, you can be absolutely sure the company wants you. And pretending someone to be, you can do an hour, you can act for a day, but you definitely can't do it for 8 hours or for your life. Second one is pursue your passion. Doing career, changing something, creating shared value and creating shareholder value. It's important that you pursue your passion. You need to be passionate. You need to enjoy. You need to be engaged. You need to drive what you are doing. And never give up. You will have setbacks. You will not be successful every time. Not everything you do will work out. But don't give up. Learn out of it. Take it, try it again, try it different. Go on in what you believe, what you want to do, and what you are convinced. And the last point, for me very important, create something better. And as one final summary, I have one quote from a famous person that unfortunately died, which I adore since I was a teenager. And it was Nelson Mandela, and what he says has driven me through my whole career. I never lose, I either win or learn. Çok teşekkürler. So, if you have questions, I think there are colleagues around with a microphone. Please. Here's one.
In English.
Okay, good.
First of all, welcome to Leadership Summit, and thank you very much. I'm Dr. Ethem Sefarkaya, and I would like to ask about cross-cultural management. What is your opinion about working with Turkish business and high executives? Because I have also experienced, I studied in Europe, and when I come back, I face too much difficulties about different business culture. So, what is your opinion? What do you think about working in Turkey with Turkish business culture? Thank you very much.
Oh, difficult question. No. Let's say first, that is one of the things I enjoy, having worked in different countries as a German, to learn about the culture and understand how people in other countries in the world are functioning, thinking. And it is a point to adapt, because I need to understand what matters for people and why they do things and why certain things perhaps happen. I'm only here 9 months, so I'm just scratching the surface. But let me give you one point which I discovered in Turkey and I discovered in the company, and my colleagues know what is coming here. I understood and I learned that the family in Turkey is a very, very important, if not the most important element in life. And the family values, and that is what I discovered, what I feel and sense and see every day in Nestle. And I can talk mostly about Nestle and this company. The values of families, what matters in family, I feel in the company. Motivation, respect, partnership, how people act to each other. Having different opinions, but also meaning in families, not every day is nice. You have conflicts in families, but the way this family importance is translated, what I see in the culture of respect, of dealing with each other. And even if I go out for a restaurant, seeing how respectful, how nice people act, the respect to age, to older people, independent what they are, that is something which I discovered and feel is a very, very strong value, a very strong cultural value, despite all the other things. Being ambitious, achieving more. And that is what you see. Turkey is in the G20. Turkey has in the last 24 years, and I checked it for a presentation, only 4 years with negative GDP. And sometimes people ask me, let me say like this on German efficiency and everything. And I say, oh, let me tell you a story. In Turkey, you build the biggest airport in Europe or in the world in 4.5 years. We Germans have a small airport in Berlin since 8 years not open because we can't finish it. So what I see is this family values, but also the capability and the desire to be efficient, to achieve something, to grow, to get better, to go on a path. Yes, 1 year, this year probably we have negative GDP, but the forecast for next year is already positive. That is combined with the performance, the delivery, but in a culture of family values, that is what is, so far after 9 months, something which is very special in Turkey. Does it answer your question? Any other question?
English. Hello, welcome to our school. I'm a student in here. What do you think about it? The Nestle company will just continue food or drink company or other things?
Oh, you should ask my boss. Look, over the 150 years we exist, we have learned that our expertise and our competence is in food and drinks. We try to go in other areas, skincare, and you just perhaps read, we got a skincare business 7, 8, 9 years ago, and we sold it just this year. Why? Because we discovered that our expertise, our knowledge, and also our focus of investment, of research and development, should be in that category and in that area where we are strong. And if you remember that every day, 1 billion consumers worldwide have the choice at the shelf, which we name it's the moment of truth, to buy our product or to buy a competitive product. And if you can imagine how products have changed over the last 150 years, technologically, but also from emotions and what they deliver, we need to make sure that we focus on this to be better than competition, to understand consumer needs better, and to translate consumer needs into consumer answers and products. And therefore we decided, and I'm quite sure this is even getting out of categories like skincare, where we don't feel that we have the competence. So I'm quite sure for the next foreseeable time, the next 10, 15 years, we will go on focusing all our investment and our success and our reason to exist to enhance the quality of life and contribute to a healthier future via food products. Any other question? There was one.
Hello. Is the coffee measure reduced in Nescafe?
Sorry?
Is the coffee measure reduced in Nescafe? Because me and many people who I talked about this, we can't get the same taste as before. This is important because we drink it when we study exam.
Okay. So, as far as I know, but I'm only here 8 months, I don't think that we have changed the recipe for Nescafe. So, but I will check, but I'm quite sure that over the last 1, 2, 3 years it hasn't been changed. Because otherwise I would have got information about it. So if it tastes different today, to be honest with you, I can't explain it to you. That does not mean that coffee taste will be the same over the next 10, 15 years. Because as consumers changed, and also taste change, we have to adapt. But I'm quite sure over the last 3, 4, 5 years, the recipe and the taste of Nescafe has not changed. So the light is switched off. The end of the questions. Okay.